Alright, so let's continue building the drone. So we got all of the arms have the engines on them, and ESCs are soldered, and we have the liquid tape insulating all the components, pluses and minuses. Nothing is shorting. This will not be. I'll double check one more time if anything is shorting. So let's see. Nope, nothing is shorting. So next part, we need to add those 4 pieces for the 2 rods. Only thing is, I was hoping that they would weigh a little bit less, but they do weigh quite significantly. If you look at my pictures on my website, you will see that Alright, so if you see pictures on my website, you will see that I used to have one of those frames before. Not one of those frames, but the frame that was mounted with those plug-in types. And those were a bit heavy. I lost that landing gear during a crash, entire thing. So I had to kind of junk it. So here we'll look at the M26, 2.5 by 6. Okay. So we need the M2.5 by 6. And those guys we have to screw into here so that they would jam the part inside, the rod inside. Let's find the proper bit for it. Nope. Not that. So yeah, don't lose those because it seems like they're really easy to lose. So before I'm gonna shove it in there, I would like to add some Loctite to it. Where's the Loctite? Right here. Strange doesn't want to go in so easily. Okay, so it's almost there. That way, a bit that way. All right. So yeah, Loctite is a must because otherwise everything gonna be falling apart. Usually everything falls apart while you fly because of the vibrations. Okay. So those bolts basically gonna be pushing on those rods, the two rods, on those two rods, and they basically. Alright, so they're gonna be pushing on those rods, and here we need to secure this one. Right, when I was ordering the frame, I was hoping that the rods are kind of gonna be built into the frame, but they haven't really came up with anything new, and it still requires extra bolts. So I'm not the happiest guy here now. Alright, so that's that. And let's start attaching this to the frame. And the way we attach it to the frame is by using M2.5 by 6. By the way, the reason you want to buy two frames, one of the frames probably going to be missing something. So that's the reason you want to have two frames. Okay. Let's see. Let me pour some Loctite here. Again, this one requires a different bit already. A different bit would be this one. So Loctite. Let's erase this. So, and that's the reason you want to do everything step by step. Don't attach the arms first and then start to build the entire drone. You need to do pretty much follow my instructions, and you're gonna be alright. Because if you would have arms mounted right now, there is no way you would be able to attach this to the drone. So like that. Some Loctite. Like that. Okay. Good thing they added an extra screw in case you lose one of those tighteners. All right, so once you tighten the screws here, you insert these guys into here, and I'm not sure how far in yet, but like that. Okay. All right, and now we have to kind of secure those rails. You know, I'm probably gonna move it a bit more forward, like that. Like that, yeah. Okay. Let me secure the okay. That one secured. By the way, those track mounts, the space between them is pretty standard, so you could pretty much attach any attachment to them. They're pretty much generic, and the attachment looks like this. It flips on it, and you can attach anything you want. All right, so we got this secured right here, like that, and yeah. So now let's put the arms on. I guess for me, the thing is, the arms are mounted together with the landing gear, and I don't really want the landing gear to be mounted to it right now, so I will just secure it. So here, let's run this cable to the bottom, because that's where the battery is going to be connecting at, on the bottom here. All right, those cables going to be going this way, and yeah, what I want to do now is attach the top plate like that, but I don't want to be attaching all of the screws yet, because it's gonna be coming on and off all the time. So let's just mount one of the screws. So let's see, 2.4 by 6. All right, I'm not putting Loctite on it right now, because I will be taking it apart many times more in the future, and I'm not putting all 4 screws. I'm just gonna put not all 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 screws total here, but I just wanna put it like that, because I'm thinking I will need to install the receiver. Okay, where is it? Wrong way. This is not the right way. Now, the reason you don't want to secure it yet, because you will have to mount the GPS leg on it, the GPS mount on it. And the GPS mount you have to mount from the bottom. But before you're gonna mount the GPS, you do wanna have you do wanna put it together and see if it's gonna even spin the motors and everything else. So yeah, that's gonna go like that. You know. Again, no Loctite yet because I will be taking it apart in the future for sure. So like that. Alright. Let's put this one. And you see this one has the cables to the left so that they won't be in the view of the camera. Okay. And like that. Okay. So now we try to mount it here. And the goal is to have those wires for the ESCs to clear the holes. Okay, so all right. Okay. Those ones are no. This one is not good. This one not properly set yet. Hold on. Okay. Like that. Like that. Again, I have no plans to fly it yet, but this is all just temporary. Because we still need the landing gear to be attached here, but there is no point in attaching a landing gear right now. Okay, so that's pretty much your frame, and it's pretty much done. So next thing you want to do is this. The reason I told you I didn't want to put it back together yet, so because I know I'm gonna take it 100 times apart, and this is why. Okay. This power board needs to be secured somehow, right? So the way I secure it is by using one of those pads right here. This is really heavy duty stuff right here. It's called the Sisuya, whatever that means. And what I want to do is this right here. Shove this guy. It's extremely sticky. Come on. Alright, and this is the way we secure the power module, so it wouldn't be vibrating too much. And this is pretty much set forever there. It won't go anywhere. Cables won't be vibrating, they won't get desoldered. So yeah, that's really good. Okay, now let's put that tape back on, the cover back on. Okay. Okay. All right. Alrighty. Alright, so the build is coming along. Again, this is the front, this is the back. Okay, so when it comes to the ESCs, you do need to mount them to the arms. Make sure there is no cables intertwitching anywhere. So you want the cables to be running freely and not touch anything, so like that. That. And like that. Okay. So should look something like this. All right, so you would say, how do you connect those guys? If you look at my other drone, you will see that every single black cable is connected to every single black cable, like that. Black, 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 and black, black. I mean here on the arms, on the motors, I mean. Here, this is black, 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 and this one is also black, connects to black. So one thing to remember with those ESCs, black is always gets connected to the black cable. When it comes to red and yellow, that's a tricky part. Here is the diagram that I think is the proper way. But if the motor is spinning the wrong way, you need to switch out the red and yellow wires. So on this drone, let me see how those guys connect. So on this side, there is a red and red, yellow and yellow. There's red, red, yellow, yellow. Okay. Now, since Turnigy probably makes the same motors as NTM, my configuration is this. Alright, so the configuration is this. Red connects to red on this arm, yellow connects to yellow on this arm. Wait, hold on. There. That's the front right here. So on the front, right? So on this end, red connects to red and yellow connects to yellow. Here. This side, red connects to yellow and yellow connects to red. On this side, red is red and yellow is yellow. So red is red, yellow and yellow, red is red, yellow and yellow. And this one is red connects to yellow and yellow connects to red. Now that's because I think the after ESCs make the same output, and I think the Turnigi motors take the same output. But if they rotate the wrong way, we can always swap the cables around. So yeah. Now before you're gonna connect anything here, you have to put heat shrink on top of the connectors, because let's see, maybe they're gonna be better here. Because during flights, those connections, those bullet connections, sometimes they basically come apart. So you do need to put as much heat shrink as you can. Alright, so here, for example. And you don't really heat up anything yet until you're gonna make sure that everything is working properly. So don't start heating up your connection. So basically the heat shrink gonna hold the two connections together. You just slide it here and you heat it, and it holds the connection for sure. Too much heat shrink. Here. Come on. I guess the key here is not to put too much heat shrink. So, no. And what you want to do is, if the heat shrink is tight, you want to be putting it on this end, because it doesn't cover the plug-in right there. Okay. Let's put a bit more. That's a trick you have to know. I mean, don't fly without the heat shrink that connects the two connectors together. You're gonna be, I mean, all it takes is one cable to get disconnected and the whole drone gonna be crashing down. Now, if your electronic speed controllers don't have the bullet connectors, that probably means they're kind of cheap, or not for big drones like that, because some smaller profile ESCs, they are made for smaller quadcopters, and those require soldering for sure. So let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, so we got heat shrink on every single one, and this heat shrink is called 3/16. 3/16. It doesn't cost anything, but it's nice to have. Zip ties at Walmart is something else you need to buy a whole bunch of, because every one of those ESCs has to be held in place. And let's see if we're gonna connect the, okay, so which one is it? Okay, let's remove the Loctite. Okay, remove this. Where is my, okay, so red and red. So first of all, we connect the black one. Okay, don't secure the heat shrink yet. So red to red, yellow to yellow, black to black, and we will see if it's gonna be working well like that. So here we connect the black to black, yellow to yellow, and red to red. Okay, and here we connect the black to black, yellow to red, and red to yellow, like that. Okay, and here we connect the black to black, yellow to red, and yellow to red. So in case the motor gonna be spinning the wrong way, what you need to do, you need to swap the yellow and red. Yellow and red, yellow and red, yellow and red. Don't touch the black one. Okay. So how's it looking so far? Like that, like that. This is supposed to be going this way. And that's supposed to be going that way. So as you can see, there is plenty of room for the wiring here. So what we need to do next is secure the wiring so that nothing would be falling out of the sky. And this is why you don't secure the ESC first, but you first connect and you make sure that it's all gonna be nicely connected and it's all gonna be like kind of tension around. So this is gonna be like that, and it looks solid to me. This will be like that, and these connections look solid to me. And I mean, I don't want any tension, and I don't want anything to get unplugged. So this is gonna be like that, and this one is the only one that's not perfectly fit. All right, so if I would be rebuilding this drone, I would make the cables shorter here so that the cables would be more straight right there. So yeah, so when you're going to be building this drone, try to make a shorter cable so that the length here, so that there won't be any excess cables. Basically, this one doesn't wanna be positioned in a proper way. Okay, would that work? Would that? Okay, something like that, I guess. I want those cables to be like that and this like that. So okay. Again, the way you secure the ESCs is by using the stick pad. So you'll need 4. Now you need to look for a heatsink. If there's a heatsink, don't put the sticky pad on a heatsink, because that heatsink needs to be cooling. If you're gonna be putting the sticky pad on a heatsink. By the way, it's also a good idea to put those on top, because they're gonna get a lot more coolant. They're gonna be running cooler if you're gonna be having them on top. Okay, so let's attach this to here like that. Okay, and zip tie. Okay. By the way, usually 2 zip ties is better than 1, but since you are using the sticky pads, usually gonna be alright. I probably want to be running it like that way, and that way. Okay. Okay. All right. So here we get another sticky pad. Stick it on the bottom. Okay. Come on. Okay. So this I'm gonna go in more straight, like that, and use another zip tie. Okay. All right. Okay. This sounds like looks good. Looks good. Okay. So make sure it's all the way in. Cut it. Okay. So next one is zip tie. Okay, sticky pad first. I know aesthetically it's probably not gonna look awesome, but it's my drone and I actually care less for the aesthetics. I want it to work. It's like one of my professors of computer science used to tell us, you know, yeah, it does matter the way how you write your code so that a bunch of other software engineers would be able to figure it out. But when it comes time to an exam, you only have so much time to write the code on the exam, and the code has to work. If code doesn't work, it's worthless. Doesn't matter how good it looks. So for me, it's worthless unless it's all flying well. And it's supposed to be flying well pretty soon. Okay, and one more. Basically get the job done. Okay. Yeah, so the cables would be better if they're a bit shorter. I didn't know if I didn't know how much space you'll have to work here with. All right, I'll just attach it straight for aesthetics reason, because I will get a whole bunch of comments. I'm sure people would say, dude, you could have put it on straight on. So here, straight one. Now the reason I put them at an angle sometime, like the other one, was because you can't really use um, because because I want those connectors to not get disconnected for some stupid reason. So I don't zip tie them yet because I will probably have to reconnect them if I connected them in incorrect way, incorrectly. Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay. Okay, so framework is pretty much ready. This is the power for the pixhawk. So all we have to do is install the pixhawk, and the crappy part about pixhawk is that you have no access to those guys. So when you crash it, you'll have to take the pixhawk off. So what I'm gonna do, first of all, we have to measure how far those cables are and if they're gonna reach the rear of the pixhawk. So let's say they are like here someplace. All right. So I get plenty of cable. So I can position the pixhawk slightly forward so that I would have access to those cables right here, or slightly backwards. So I would have access to those guys. So yeah, now all right, so one thing to understand is I can mount my FPV camera right here, or I can mount it right here. I will get less vibration if I mount it to here than if I mount it to here. What I can also do, I can put a Mobius camera. All right, so I can also put my Mobius right here, like that. I don't even need the cover. Hold on 1 second. So Mobius could be sitting right here, and the FPV camera could be sitting right here on top. And that would be a good setup. But because we got those rails on the bottom, I think I have plenty of space in the front for anything else I want. But yeah, I mean, we could just put some all right, so let's continue. So we're basically thinking of where to put the control board. One thing you need to understand is that on my prior build, I put the control board directly to the top plate using one of those pads. But later on, I see a bunch of people putting anti-vibration pads right here that's supposed to reduce the vibration to the control board. I am honestly not sure if those anti-vibration pads work or not. So it's really up to you to see how you want to go. So here is the situation. I can't really put it in the middle because it will block those guys. I either need to put the board like that, or like that. Maybe I can shove it inside. Nope, I can't shove it inside. So yeah, either way the board has to go. Because I always end up putting stuff on the front, I guess I will move it backwards. But you also need to understand that in the back, or someplace in the back, there will be receiver installed, receiver for your transmitter. Okay, there are two jumper pins, so that when you sync in the receivers, that receiver would do 16 channel output, and it comes in a box like that. The best receiver there is right now. There's really nothing better out there. I mean, there are, but it all costs a lot. So the thing about the receiver, I could shove it here. Well, that's probably where I'm gonna end up putting it too. And the antenna is gonna be standing like that, I think. Or if there's gonna be a battery tray right here, which there's gonna be a battery tray, I could put it on top of the battery tray. Or I could put another plate here and stack it on the plate here. So this is one of the ways how to position the receiver. It's basically to position it here. Or maybe I could shove it under there, under here, for example, like that, and have the antenna sticking out like that. By the way, not a bad location for receiver to be put into. Only problem is the cables are gonna be hidden. But yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be something like that. So if it's gonna be like that, I will need to have this thing. I'll need this to be overhanging, which I don't want it to do because I want my camera there. So also you need to understand there's going to be a GPS unit standing here someplace. And where we put it, that's another story. I'm thinking of putting a GPS unit someplace right on this side probably. Or right here on the front. Then I don't see a point of moving this guy around too much. So yeah. Anyways, let me do something here. There we go. Alright, so first thing, this pad is old. So I'm kind of getting rid of this pad.